Want to play a game that's really challenging? You can be the red, and you can be the green, and you can be the yellow, and you can be the blue.
Hello everyone and welcome to Cheap Noise in the House, the channel where we talk about electronic games and music production. I'm Cheap Noise and survey says I'm in the house, and this will be about the music production side of things. You might recall in my last video I received a massive package from my good friend Pixel XQ. By the way, go check out Pixel XQ's channel. He's amazing at what he does. He does a lot of good toy videos, and now he's got a series called Now Then VTech What's the Jank, and it's absolutely incredible if you want to learn more about early 2000s era VTech toys. Anyway, amongst the things that he sent me in that package was this thing. This is the You Create Music. It was released in 2009 by Radica. Now, this is kind of a toy. You might consider it as a toy. But in this video, I want to show you that it has a lot more potential than it shows on face value. You might use it for a lot of stuff in your studio or in your live rig, for example. It's a really useful box indeed. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into pretty much all the functions that this has, and we're going to start with a physical description of all the knobs and buttons. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is this big knob on the side. This is used to turn the unit on and off and to change the volume of both the internal speaker and the external output, because yes, you can plug this into your monitor, your headphones, or your audio interface if you desire. On the front, you have this joystick thing on the left. This is kind of like an XY pad on the Chaos Pad series from Korg. This is kind of the way I like to describe it. You can go up, down, left, and right, and press on it as well. And this will be how you control all the effects on here. So get used to that joystick, because you'll use it quite a lot, because this is kind of the main aspect of this unit. On the right, you have 5 rows of 4 buttons. These will be your loop select, your track assign as well. So per track, you have, on the first 4 tracks, you'll have 3 loops. So you have drum, bass, riff, and licks. And on the final track, you can engage a sample loop or a one-shot. You can select one of 2 different samples that you can record both from the internal microphone or the external input. So that's really useful. You can record samples into this device, affect them as much as you want, and even transpose them with the tempo buttons that I will show later. This final row of buttons here is to assign a track to the effect control by this joystick. So you can assign any track to the effect as you want. You can assign 1, 2, 3, 4, or all 5 tracks as you want by toggling these buttons on and off. On the top, you have the massive built-in speaker here, which sounds pretty good for a toy. Over here, you'll have a tempo slider, or I just said buttons. You have tempo down this way, tempo up this way, and in the middle, you can tap tempo by tapping this on the tempo that you want the songs to be. Now, the tempo of the built-in loops goes from 80 to 160 BPM, I believe, and the default is 96, and unfortunately, the software is gone, so you can't really change the loops that are built in on here, unfortunately, but they're good as they are. Over here, this is your effects select knob, so you have 8 effects to select. 8 effects. And over here, this is kind of your sampling section. So you have the built-in microphone over here, this kind of a slanted thing. Here, you'll find the record button that will allow you to record a sample on one of the 2 slots that you can select down below. This switch is really important, because if it's to the left, that means it will sample from the external input. If it's from the right, it will sample from this microphone. So this is kind of your sample source, if you will. This is also an important button. This toggle switch will hold the effect on and off, so you don't have to hold the joystick in the whole time. And on the bottom here, you have 2 buttons. This is to record a MIDI performance of whatever you do on the pad, the tracks, the loops, and even the tempo will be recorded. And over here, this is where you can play your performance if you want. Then we go on to the back and you'll see a few sockets, which brings this device into kind of a good studio setup. You have a micro USB cable, which of course nowadays is completely useless, unfortunately. And then you have 3 jacks here. This first one is to connect it to external speakers, headphones, or your audio interface. This metal jack is a microphone in, so if you don't like the microphone that is built into this device, you can plug another microphone here. And the final one is the all-important line input, which you can use for external sampling and effects processing. All right, now let's turn it on. You do that by flicking the knob. You'll see a few light animations as it's loading the built-in pack. And now the first thing that you can do is toggle tracks on and off. So you have 3 rhythm or 3 drum tracks. These are your bass tracks. You have the 3 of those. You have 3 of those. And finally 3 of those. So you can have any combination of these 4 tracks as you want. So you can have this. And there you go. This is a full mix by only triggering. So as you can see, you can also turn the tracks off by pressing them again. So let's have a drum and bass line and let's affect it. As you can see, you have this really nice strobe effects on the joystick, but the sound doesn't change an awful lot, and that is because we haven't assigned the tracks to the effect. So if we assign the drum, we can hear which, now it's selected a flanger, and it affects the drums. If we stop that, and we affect the bass, now the flanger is only on the bass. If we want to affect both of them, we choose both tracks. Okay, so let's go through the effects real quick. Okay, so the first one you see is a flanger. Pretty good flanger. Next one is a steppy phaser. Next up we have a delay. And this is a good time to show the hold function, because if I let go, the effect completely stops. So if I want to hold this delay, hold it in, press the hold. And I will hold this delay. So as you can see, the effect stays held for as long as this button is turned on. So you can let go and the effect will turn off. Next up is my favorite effect. Which is kind of a transposer / beat repeat that has a really nice downsampled tone. So you can create really lo-fi textures with this. And it goes pretty slow, as you can see. So if I want to hold it, I can change. So if I only have this, I can have this nice kind of glitchy effect. And yeah, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna bring back the other things. Now, the next effect is kind of the same way, except it will reverse. It will go backwards and forwards on one particular loop. As you can see, it goes back and forth. Let's hold this. And now, what you can do is let go and use it when you want. Let's bring the loop a little bit tighter. So you can use this as a temporarily effective looper. It will just loop a part of the audio. Next up, we have a really nice low-pass filter with resonance. Yeah, the pad squeaks a little bit sometimes. Next up, we have a distortion. So I'm going to turn this down. So this is kind of like an overdrive / filter circuit, which is cool. This is, you can turn the effects down or up. So this is kind of like a standard mixer. If you turn it to the right, you have a tremolo effect, which is really cool. Now, next up we'll be covering is the tempo control. This is quite self-explanatory, so if you put it that way, it will go up in tempo, and it will also increase this, the pitch. If you go that way, it will go down. There you go. And if you want a particular speed, you just tap the tempo. It'll follow the speed. So that's it for the effects and the tempo. Alright, now is a good time to talk about the sample track. So if you press this first button, it'll play the selected sample in a loop. This is my voice. You can turn that off. And this second button will play the sample as a one-shot sample, so you can use it to play sound effects and things. And this following button will choose the second sample, so you can store 2 samples at the time on the unit. Now, what's cool about these samples is, let's turn down out some tracks. It will also get transposed with the tempo. So it'll still retain the same tempo as the master track, or the master tempo. And you can also affect these samples. So if I want to delay on my samples, I can set up this. And my sample has delay. Now let's say you want to record your own samples. Well, first of all, you need to select in what source you want to use. So if you flick it to the right, you'll use the internal microphone, which is there. And if you switch it to the left, it will sample from the external input, which is right there. Now, a close note on that, you can affect the external input while sampling from the internal microphone. That's possible. That's a thing you can do. So there. Let's flick it that way. Now, it's a good thing to have a reference of a tempo. You choose the sample you want to record by pressing this button. So if it's not lit, it's the first sample. It's this second one. So you press this button, and as soon as you press it, it's going to start recording. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah. And now the tracks will be turned off. So we'll have... And there is my sample. And again, you can transpose it. And that's how you record samples. now let's cover the performance record function. So you hit this button to start recording. It will give you a countdown depending on what tempo you want. And it will start recording. And from now you can and if you want to stop, you press this, and to listen to it back, you hit this. As you can see, even the effects parameters are recorded. Which is cool. And we'll stop. And that's your performance. Alright, now I have an external keyboard connected to the external line-in on the Ucreate, and I'm going to show you how, regardless on this switch position, you can affect the external audio source with its built-in effects. So, you have the keyboard here, and if I want, I can add an effect on top of it, like this flanger. So if I want, I can hold that. And have a nice chorusy flanger. And it works with all the effects on here. So if I want a step phaser, I can have that. If I want a delay, and it even works with the wacky effects, as I like to call them. Again, with that weird downsampled kind of effects. So that's cool. But not only can we do that, we can also sample on the Ucreate by sliding this switch to the left. And now we just hit record and sample something in. And now, if we have this, we have our sample that we can mix with the built-in loops and even transpose. That's our sample, transposed to another key. So, there you have it. That was a quick review on the Ucreate music from Radica. Yes, it is a toy, but yes, it is so much fun. And it serves a lot of purpose in your arsenal. If you want a lo-fi sampler sound, this got it. If you want high quality, well, kind of high quality effects, this has it. If you want a basic groove box just to spend the time, this has it. So yeah, this is a really powerful device, and not to mention, it runs on only 4 AA batteries, so you can take this anywhere you want. Now, I forgot to mention, if you're buying this new, you might find corroded batteries because this came with batteries in the box, so I would advise you get a used one. In this case, you won't have, or you'll have less chance of having any battery leakage. But that's it for this video, so until next time, cheers!